Hi everyone! Knock knock! D. D major, of course. We're going to learn D major in this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at it. So first, let's look at the key signature. How many sharps does it have? That's right, 2 sharps. Let's go ahead and say them. We have F sharp and C sharp. Now for this video, we're using the band foo scales. So you'll notice that on C sharp, we have 2 fingerings. We're going to be using the top fingering, so go ahead and circle that one. And make sure to use that fingering for this video as you play along. Now, before we get started with the fingering, I want to call out one difference in this one from some of the other videos, in the other scales. So our octaves are when we have 2 notes that are the same note name, but there's a higher and a lower one. In most of the other scales, we're using the same fingering. For this one, we do not. If you notice that the fingering for the 2 Ds are not the same. So let's go over that first. So first we have the middle D fingering. Remember, index finger up, no stuffy noses. And then for the high D fingering, the left hand is going to stay the same, but the right hand is going to change, and we're going to put the pinky down and lift those other 3 fingers up. So that's middle D, and then high D is just like that. Let's go ahead and play those 2 so you can get a feel for them and hear them before we play through. So middle D first. And then high D, switch to the pinky. Did you get it? All right, so first let's go ahead and say and finger the notes on the way up. So starting out, we have D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, and high D. Okay, let's go ahead and play through it in whole notes. Oh, 1, 2, ready, and great. Now let's go ahead and finger and say the notes on the way down. So starting with that high D fingering, we have D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, and then D. Great. Now let's go ahead and play it on the way down in whole notes. 1, 2, ready, and awesome. Now let's go ahead and finger through the arpeggio going on the way up. So we have flute on our shoulders, we have D, F sharp, A, and then high D. Now let's go ahead and play that arpeggio in whole notes. 1, 2, ready, and great. Now let's go ahead and finger it on our shoulder on the way down. So we have D, then A, then F sharp, and then middle D. Okay, so arpeggio coming down in whole notes. 2, ready, and all right, good. Now let's talk about a couple of things in the scale. We already talked about the most important things, so let's revisit those middle D and high D fingerings. So we have middle D, index finger up, no stuffy noses. high D, we just switch to pinky, okay? Remember that especially going from the high C sharp to D, the high D, you want to make sure that your flute is nice and balanced, so that way when you finger C sharp to D, your flute's not falling around all over the place. Okay, so now let's go ahead and finger the notes on our shoulder in the all state pattern, okay? So half notes on the Ds, quarter notes on every other note. Let's go ahead and finger and sing the notes, okay? So 1, 2, ready, and D, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, C sharp, B, A, G, F sharp, E, D, F sharp, A, D, A, F sharp, D. Great, now let's go ahead and try to play it. 1, 2, ready, and great, now let's go ahead and increase the tempo. How did you do with those 2 D fingerings? Do you remember to lift your index finger on the middle one? Okay, good posture. Oh, 1, 2, ready, and let's increase the tempo up to 100 now. Good posture, relax your arms. 1, 2, ready. Great, now let's go up to 120. Are you remembering to tongue up and slur down and not breathe between each note that you're tonguing? Oh, 1, 2, ready. Awesome. Now let's go ahead and play them in eighth notes. So we're going to go down to 60, so it's going to feel the exact same, but we're going to play quarter notes and eighth notes in the all-state pattern. Let's go ahead and sing it on a la first and finger it. So put your flute on your shoulder and sing it on a la. 2, ready, and la 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 la. Don't have to be a great singer. This is why I teach flute and not singing. All right, let's go ahead and give it a go. 2, ready, and all right, awesome. Virtual high five. You just did D major. You made it to the end of the video. Great practicing. Keep practicing this skill and all your other skills. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.